Welcome to my series, Get Ready With Me, because girl, Tengo Chisme. We listen to stories submitted on TikTok, so don't forget to follow, subscribe to all the things. We are going to do some tea time this morning. You guys ready? If you are here, good morning. We finally made it to Friday. On Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, we do chismecito time, Tengo Chisme. We have been following the story of Brittany. So if you haven't been here, let me tell you. So Brittany gets love bombed by this woman. Okay? It's one of those stories. You might not like it, but she gets love bombed by this woman who lives out of state, lives in a completely different state. So she's like, you should come out here, take a look. Her job was already planning to do a relocation for her out there. And she's like, no, you should come out here, come see if you like it. Anyway, so she goes out there, meets this woman. We're going to call the woman Melissa because that's what she calls her. And she goes out there, and Melissa's just very funky. Not the same way that she was on the phone. On the phone, it was all love bombing, lovey-dovey, really overly friendly. But when she's down there, Melissa's very weird, acting very odd. So Brittany comes back home and they talk on the phone, and she's like, I'm sorry that I was so weird. I was weird because I've been married twice and I'm still married. Red flag. Red flag right there. She's like, I'm still married. Mind you, she's trying to talk to another girl. She's like, but I only married her so that she could get insurance or something like that. I think that's what she said. I only married her so that she had access to insurance. So at that point, another red flag. She's like, we're in the process of we're going to get divorced, this and that. She love bombs her again, convinces her to fully move down there. So she goes and stays down there, and she's like, we should rent a house together. So she tells her, yeah, we should rent a house together, find a place. So at this point, Brittany says, okay, they rent a house. Within a week later, Melissa's like, we should have a housewarming party. Mind you, Brittany doesn't know anybody down there. She knows nobody. She's brand new to this place. So she goes ahead and rents a house with her. The housewarming party happens, and at the housewarming party, she proposes in front of a bunch of people that Brittany does not know. It's only been a month. She proposes, puts her on the spot. Major red flag, another one. That's 3 flags in a row. I don't know, girl, it's a little too funky. Mind you, you're proposing and you're still married. Your divorce isn't even final yet. So she proposes. Brittany feels like she was kind of cornered and pressured into it, and she ends up saying yes. So she got her a ring. A few days later, she's like, wait, do you remember when we had talked, you said that if I got you a ring, you would get me a car. You would get me a truck. So that's what Melissa said to her. So Brittany goes and co-signs on a truck for her. Girl, immediately I am hearing so many red flags, and I'm like, girl, she is using you for your money. Now the girl does say it's no secret that she has a really good job. Her family is, a little bit wealthier, on the wealthier side. But you could just tell this woman is taking advantage of her. Sounds like it? Sounds like it, right? Anyways, so we are listening to the next update now. Are you ready? Are y'all ready? If y'all can do me a favor and share the live, push it out. Who is this? This story is by a creator. Her name is Just Brittany. And then hit that share button for me, push it out. For some reason, TikTok's acting finicky this morning. Remember, this is Brittany's story of who the F did I marry. So this girl just completely bombed her. She's trying to go back to work.
And she was physically going into work. Now, the type of job that I have, it's not a job where you're answering phones or, have a lot of solace. I am expected to be on meetings 6 to 7 times a day. I have a lot of data entry. It's a hard enough job without a kid. So with one, I was struggling. And then to mention that I also was dealing with postpartum, like I was just not doing good. And Melissa knew this, and I was very open about like where I was with everything. And at some point she was like, what would it look like for you to just not work and just take care of the baby, since you don't, want to take him to daycare and so on and so forth. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I couldn't imagine quitting a job without having another. And she was like, well, I can take care of the household. Like, you don't have to worry about that. Like, we're together. So I'm going to make sure that that everything's taken care of. So she's working and I'm a stay-at-home mom at this point. And she's piecemealing me money into the household. I mean, there was a point where, like I said, I don't like to ask for things, but it's getting to a point where it's like, hey, like, I don't know if you noticed, but we need groceries. And, it's just like a lot of hesitation. So I'm still kind of paying for things using what I have. Mm-mm. And at some point I'm like, fuck, I think we're struggling. Like, I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty sure we're struggling, because I feel like there's like not any money being poured into the household outside of like the direct bills. So I decide that it's time for me to start applying again. So at this point, Melissa decides that she wants to get into a more corporate role as well. So we had a discussion about like places that we would be willing to move to, and we landed on Austin just based off of like the area and like the companies that are here. So she ends up getting the corporate job that she wanted in Austin, and I end up getting and accepting an offer to a corporate job in Austin as well. So it's time to move, and at this point, both jobs have said that they were not going to give relocation until we started work in Austin. So we had to front the cost of relocation. So I asked Melissa what she got on the move, money-wise, and she was like, nothing. I was like, you don't have anything? She was like, nope, nothing. So,
girl,
I have to be in office in Austin in 2 weeks. So I end up deciding to get a loan to front the cost of the move, and then I'd pay the loan off with my sign-on bonus and my relocation when I got here.
You're right on time.
Cool. Her company offered a week in Austin to be able to find a place to live, and to find childcare and all of that stuff. So we head down to Austin for a week to be able to find a place.
Thank you for the gift.
So one of the first few places that we saw, we liked. So I was like, cool, let's put in an application, like this is the spot that I like. So we're waiting on that application to go through, and that whole entire week she's actually working in office at her job, and I am going around and trying to find a daycare for my son. At this point, we have like 3 days left in Austin, and I still haven't decided on a school, but I at least knew roundabout what I wanted. So we're in the car headed to the school that I thought would be the one, and I get a call from the real estate agent, and she was like, the application is not being accepted. It's not being accepted. Like, somebody's score is too low. So I actually have like a full panic attack, like had Melissa pull over type shit, like I was infuriated from the inside, because now you didn't have the money for the move. I can't get into a spot in Austin.
Girl, she sounds like
I am not. This is crazy. So that night, I started applying to places by myself, and I'm telling Melissa, like, listen, I'm getting approved for spots. I'll just get on the lease. It'll be cool. Nah, she wasn't having that. No, we both need to be on the lease. We both need to be on the lease. We need to find a spot. And I'm like, no, like, it's just impossible. She was like, oh, there was a spot that's like more expensive in a different area, and like maybe we could talk to the guy and he'd be like willing. Everything is telling me not to put her on the lease. Everything. And I'm like, all right, man, whatever. I end up calling the guy. We visit the spot, and he was willing.
Girl, she had her.
I would need to put down a $4,000 deposit. And I want to make it clear that I had to put down a $4,000 deposit. Mm-mm. So at this point, the move has to be paid for. So the move-in truck, everything, the deposits have to be paid. I had to put down a payment into the school to save my son's spot. Like, this is not just some little coin. At this point, on the back end, I started contacting the people that I cut off. I started contacting my friends. I started contacting my family. Like, I needed my village, because at this point, I realized that this was no longer something that I could, like, continue to maintain. Not by myself, at least. Like, I needed people. I needed people.
Girl, that's what I keep saying, Jen. I'm like, everything is telling you that this woman is just taking advantage of you. And everything is moving so fast. Like, obviously, like, you could tell this is probably like a year and a half into their relationship, but she started being so quick and so messy and wanting you to cover everything from the get-go. Like, she looks really young, I'm not gonna lie. Like, looking at her, she's very young, but you could tell this person was going to take advantage of her. Maria, all the stuff that I use is in my shopping cart. You can tell she was going to take advantage of her from the get-go based on how quickly she was moving things. Again, like, red flag. You've been married twice. You acted funky when I came to meet you for the first time and I didn't know that you were married. You told me you only married her to give her health insurance. Okay, we get together, and then literally 2 weeks later, like, I move down there. We kind of move in together. We move into a house. And then you proposed a month into meeting me in front of everybody. But again, why would you say yes? Like, if something was odd, it felt weird, why would you say yes? So then because you got me an engagement ring, I now have to get you and co-sign a truck? Do you hear that everything is sounding like money? Like, that's what it sounds like to me. A house that she got, that she paid for, everything is like you're paying for it. She's not listening to her gut. And I bet you the reason that this girl wanted to isolate her from the family was because she wanted to take control of her money. And yes to the engagement, and yes to a baby, like, when you, like, barely know this woman. Anyways, let's keep listening.
I needed people. So it's time to move officially. And we're packing things up. It's a lot to pack up, especially with a kid. And it was the day before the moving truck came, and she was like, listen, I'll take the baby and the dog, and I'll go ahead and go down to Austin, and you could just be here with the movers in the morning or whatever. Anybody that's ever moved knows that, like, when the movers start picking stuff up, like, there is so much that has to be packed. So I'm busting my ass. That night I'm packing basically by myself because she already left. That morning I'm packing up with the movers because there's so much stuff that hadn't been packed yet. I'm patching up holes on the wall. Like, I am doing everything to make sure that we don't have to end up paying anything to the renters that we were renting from.
Imagine
so I'm getting everything situated. So the movers got the stuff. I'm headed to Austin. Melissa calls me and we get to a big argument because at this point, like, I'm just stressed and tired and I'm just, like, going off. I told Melissa, man, you might as well not even unpack your stuff. Like, I don't even want you there when I get there. And, like,
she does say in the little flash screen, I did let her stay. Ugh. Okay. If you're also, can you tell me in the chat, are you new here to this story? Like, are you, like, is this the first time you are hearing this story? We already started covering it a few days ago, but I want to know because I feel like I left a really important part out, and I can tell you the part that I left out. So let's keep listening.
I was just done. Like, there was nothing, like, this was the moment that I realized that I could no longer be in a marriage with this person. This is
okay. I'm going to pause it right there because there is a lot of new people in here. Well, hi, hopefully you're hitting the follow button. The part that I'm going to add is Melissa sent her a picture. They were looking at explicit adult things at one time. And Melissa sent her items for somebody who was transitioning, or who would, maybe it's for a couple that has transitioned. Big red flag right there too. And she went up to Melissa and she asked her, hey, is there something that you're trying to tell me? Because I need to know. And Melissa told her no. I don't want to be a man. No, there's nothing that I have to tell you. So that's very important.
Awful. So I'm crying on the way to Austin. Story. Like, I'm crying because I'm just overwhelmed. I'm stressed. And I'm calling all my family. Like, I'm calling my friends. And I'm just, like, telling them, I'm like, man, like, I have to apologize. Like, I fucked up. Like, whatever. So now we're in Austin. We're both working. The baby is in school. And we're just not doing good. At this point, I have already mentally broken up with her. Every argument was an excuse for me to tell her that I'm done with her. Period. So we moved in December of 2022, and at this point, it's like January, February. She ends up calling me one day, and she's like, I think I want to defeminize. At this point, she was, like, getting into the gym and was, like, trying to be, like, really bulky. So she was like, I think I'm going to defeminize. And that was my first time ever hearing of something. So she said she already made an appointment, And then she calls me after the appointment and she's like, yeah, so like these are the changes, like voice changes, all this stuff. So I'm like, okay, like, are you transitioning? And she was like, no, like, I'm not going to be a he, him. And I'm like, okay, well, like, are you going to go by they? And she was like, no, like, I'm a she, her. I just want to have like a better body. You know, I want to just look better in the gym, so on and so forth. So I'm like, okay, like, I can't stop anybody from doing nothing like that. So she starts that process. And like I said, mentally, I'm already done with this. And we've had some really bad arguments up until this point. It's probably like this February, March time frame. We having a bunch of terrible arguments, and one of these weekends she ends up deciding to go to Dallas, and this person has like a lot of facial tattoos already, and that was like something we had like specific places agreed upon. And they had asked me like before, like, oh, like, how would you feel about me getting more tattoos on my face? And I was like, don't do that. Like, you're already pushing it. Like, don't do that. She gets back from Dallas, brand new, ugly ass tattoo on her fucking face. Like, it was the ugliest thing I ever seen. And I was like, why would you do that? And I like went off on her. I was like, you don't care about me. You don't care about your son. Like, you look stupid. And at this point, like, I want a divorce. I don't want to be with you. And you can talk to other people. I can talk to other people. Let's just go, or you can stay. And at this point, right, I have to be able to afford the place that we're living in. It's more expensive. So I'm like, listen, you can sleep in this room. I'll sleep in this room. We can watch the baby. And honestly, like, you could talk to who you want to talk to. Let's not be disrespectful, and vice versa. Like, I don't want to participate in this anymore. So at this point, we've decided we could talk to other people, and either person was allowed to date. So things started getting really interesting.
Okay, I need to know, what do you think? You kind of got the little drop of a hint right there about what's about to happen. What do you think, girl? First of all, this story is freaking wild. Like, she is, like, I love her, but she's very young and naive. And I think this person took really, like, she saw her, took control of her. Like, I can get this woman to do whatever I want. It's a mess. But there is a part that I haven't played. I'm also going to, like, it's a little bit of an in-between. And I think we need to hear it. Because there is a part that it's not included in the stories, but it's rather a response to one of the messages.
This.
So somebody wrote, same, I followed the ex from way back in the day and the patterns were crazy.
Let me tell you about this. This is specific, and I'm going to tell you why. I failed to mention that in the beginning, when I first met Melissa, they continued to bring up getting each other's names tattooed.
Red flag.
Now, the person I'm talking about, I already told you, super tattooed.
Red flag.
And, you know, so it was just like, it didn't even seem off base for them to ask something like that. So I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I guess, like, I could get somebody's name tattooed, like, especially if this is, like, somebody I want to be with. Like, we're in a day and age where you get a tattoo, you get it covered, whatever. But I had never had a name tattoo before. So I'm like, okay, like, this is a big deal. So fast forward. Long story short, we end up in a tattoo shop, okay? She says that she's going to get my name. I said that I'm going to get hers. And it was like, cool, we'll get them in red ink. But when we get there, she only claimed to have space for my initial, but not for my whole name. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, all right. And so I was like, I had already committed to getting the full name.
No, you changed your commitment.
So I'm like, okay,
right there
whatever,
and there.
here now. Let's get her done. Like, it is what it is. And so I get it. And it ended up being, like, bigger than I wanted. I wasn't really happy with it. And, like, honestly, I just didn't feel good about it after it finished. Like, it didn't feel...
So make sure you go follow me on YouTube. I'm actually going to start my series over there of every day when we finish this live. It's going to get posted over there to TikTok. It's going to be called Tengo Chisme. And you can always hear it because people are like, I want to hear the rest of this.
Like, this love and, like, warm... Oh, my God, we just bonded in some way together. It kind of felt, like, weird. We get in the car... and I basically was like, damn, like, I'm really not happy. Like, I didn't expect it to be this big. And, like, at this point, I had put it in a place where I didn't have any other tattoos. So it was, like, kind of, you could see it, you know? And I was like, this wasn't really what I wanted. Like, especially now knowing that you wasn't going to get my full name. Like, it sort of just feels kind of like, I don't know. I don't feel good about it. I don't remember the exact conversation, but in this conversation in the car, she proceeds to tell me that multiple other women have gotten her name or a variation of it before.
Mm-hmm.
I kid you not. I get the tattoo in the same day, and right after, in the car, she tells me that multiple other women have gotten her name or a variation of it.
Red flag.
What in the cult? And like, what's even crazier is
Red
like,
flag.
this isn't even a single crazy part of this story. This is nothing. But I really want you to remember it because it is a theme. It is a...
Okay, so I want to add to this, okay? I don't think there's anything wrong if you have your partner's name tattooed on you or they have yours. Just going to add that because I don't have it, but I don't think it's wrong. In this situation, I think it's really wrong because they hadn't been together that long yet. And the fact that she said they were going to get each other's names tattooed, and then at the tattoo parlor, she changed her mind, the other girl, and instead got her initial. An initial is so much easier to cover up than a whole ass name. That's the weird part to me. Like, there is something there when this person is changing her mind immediately. If you have your husband's name tattooed on you, your wife's name tattooed on you, y'all been together for forever, and that's the decision you wanted to make on getting a tattoo with your significant other, I don't think there's an issue with that. I think the issue with this is this person at the tattoo parlor changing it up really fast on her and saying, no, I'm going to get an initial, while she got her whole name. And then telling her that there are several women out there that have her name on her, but she doesn't have anybody's name. Makes sense that she gets them to get an initial because an initial is easier to cover. Anyways, I thought that was important so that you could hear how some people, the behavior that some people have. All right, we're going to go listen to part 5. How are you doing? Are you still here? Are we awake? Where is part 5? I wish you had them all in parts together. Part 5. You ready? Right, I would have changed my mind right then and there too. Then no, I'm not doing it. I don't understand. Again, I love this girl. She's gorgeous. But I just want to know, why not right then and there say, oh, well, since you're getting an initial, so am I. So am I. Because it's easy. An initial, you can easily change it. But then again, also, this girl just seems like she just let her take control, and then she didn't have control. So, let's listen to this one.
Welcome to part 5 of Who the Did I Marry? I left off on Melissa and I deciding that we would date other people. This was around the February-March 2023 timeframe. So around May 2023, I met who is my current girlfriend, Ashley. And it was just a whirlwind, love at first sight, no red flags.
Mamas, you fall too quick.
Soft life. But
I do love that for her.
It's continued to be great. Anyways, so I had not at this point given any context to my dating life. So I get home from this date with Ashley, and
good morning.
I get home pretty late, and Melissa had said something about it, but in my head I'm like, get out of my business, really. And then the next day, I happened to have a hickey, and they asked me about it. Not even gonna lie to you, I lied about it. I was like, I don't know what it is. I don't know where it's from. But,
Good morning. Thank you, Colleen.
That next morning, I was in the baby's room. He's fussy. And I get a message from Melissa saying, hey, when are you coming out of the baby's room? And I was like, oh, I'll probably be out soon so I can cook breakfast, but I'm still trying to get him settled. And she was like, oh, it's fine. I'll cook breakfast, I come out of the room about 6 or 7 minutes later.
Thank you for the gift.
And she is going through my watch. And bruh, she is cutting the fuck up. She is cussing. She's calling me names. You a whore. You this, you that. you know, like going off. And so she's like storms out, got my watch with her, and she's just like irate. Prior to this, we had never gone through each other's things. Besides the point, she knew that I was dating.
Thank you,
so this reaction to me was just like out of control. I remember calling Ashley and being like, yo, like this just happened, and like I'm shook. Like I don't know what to do. They were continuously calling my phone. Like they would call and I would answer, and they would like be screaming in my ear. Like, because not only are they going through my messages with Ashley, they're going through my messages with my family, with my friends. Like they're going through all of my messages. So I'm feeling unsafe at this point. So I decided to book a hotel room for a couple of days, and yeah, like Ashley joined me. Like she was just a place of comfort, and also like, not to mention, she was going through a divorce as well, so there was just a lot of things that were similar. So the week goes on, and I start getting these like crazy text messages from Melissa, like saying like, I need your ring, I need you to give me your ring, like I need to sell your ring, I need your ring. Like it was continuous, it was constant, and in my head I'm just like, what do you need in the ring for? Like, what's going on? And she was like, oh, I bought you a BMW, so I need to get it back on the lot, and I already took it off the...
She said, I need the ring to pay Ish to show them. That's not a problem, and I can do that. Can we discuss this when you get home?
Lot. So I need the ring.
She's funny. She changed her name to Ill. E-W. Ill.
I need the money. I need the money. So she's just going off. And I'm just like, what the F are you talking about? Like, you ain't buying no damn...
Let me see
going
this.
Off.
She said, the scramble above the ring was because I got you a car for Mother's Day and your birthday. I don't know how locked in I am because you never... Literally cannot think, because I never felt this way ever in my life from anybody, and to get it from someone I thought loved me is the hardest, and love me the hardest and deepest. It's nuts. I said I never felt a love like this, just for it to all be an effing game. So again, here she is trying to love bomb her.
And I'm just like, what the F are you talking about? Like, you ain't buying no damn car. So another week goes by, and then Melissa, like at this point, like I'm back home, but not very...
How was Melissa able to get a car when Melissa's credit was a hot mess express? Like they couldn't even get the apartment they wanted because Melissa's credit was trash.
Often it's sort of like work, get my son, separate myself. Like we're kind of just like missing each other on purpose. Melissa ends up asking me, like, can I watch, the baby for the duration of the week, because they was going to go get some sticky socks. Now, I ain't no professional, but...
Do y'all know what sticky socks are?
Usually when you get those sticky socks, you are not allowed to have your phone. But for some reason...
I want to know, do you guys know what sticky socks are? Okay. It sounds so dirty. Okay, I'm going to pause it right there because it sounds so dirty. I had to go in the comments because I was like, what the hell are sticky socks? I'm like, where is Melissa going? Melissa is going to a mental health hospital. That's what it is, girl. And I'm like, sticky socks? Girl, that does not sound clean. Grippy socks. Yeah, she calls them sticky socks. But she wasn't going to go buy some socks, girl. She was not going to go buy no socks. We're not going to Urban Air to a jumping place. That's what I thought too. Girl, she's going to a mental health hospital. That's why, I guess that's what it's called. It does sound so damn dirty. I agree. Anyways, let's keep listening to where Melissa's going.
Somebody texted me the whole entire time, to the point where I was like, where are you? Because I ain't never heard of no facility that allows this. Like, you're doing a lot. Like, how are you getting whatever help that you need and continuing to text me and asking me all these questions about, is our whole life is a lie and blah, 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 blah. Like, go leave me alone. Go do what you need to do to get through what you need to get through. Like, leave me alone. Me and Ashley continue to date.
Yes,
and
Kylie.
Pretty much like the environment at home was just hostile. Like they were constantly making comments, like just saying things. Like it truly uncomfortable. And I had asked them a 100 times, like, hey, you can move out. Like I'll keep this lease. Like you could go do whatever you want to do, or vice versa. But like this is just not
just get the
working
hell
for
out.
me. So now we're in July 2023, and I go in to the courthouse and file for divorce. I file without a lawyer. I just file your regular paper. I filed to do no financials, and I filed to have the custody schedule that me and her had discussed and agreed upon. Funny enough, I wasn't asking for child support or anything, like just to split school, and that is it. Y'all, this girl goes and gets a lawyer. So I get a response to the very easy divorce that I filed, and it was like, I was like, why would you get a lawyer? Like, there's nothing to fight about. And she was like, oh, well, you didn't mark out the child support line. And I'm like, you don't have to. Like, in the state of Texas, like, you get your custody, I get my custody. Like, it's even. So why would I mark out a state form, like, to please you? Like, what are you talking about? So at this point, I'm on my search for a lawyer. Now, I want to pause the story for a second, and I want to add some information, and I need you to pay attention.
I think everybody wants to know, like, the whole Ashley situation. So this is where she's going to show it. I'll show you a quick diagram of how the next characters come to play. She's a really good storyteller.
Remember, I told you earlier in the video that my girlfriend Ashley at the time was also going through a divorce.
Oh, not this one.
Ashley's ex-wife Caroline filed for divorce in May. And in July, Caroline finds out that me and Ashley are dating. Now, if you think one ex is bad, imagine two. Mm-hmm. This portion...
All right, I'm going to bring up the phone. Are you ready? Come to the phone, bestie. I'm going to show you the diagram so that you can see it real quick. This is the diagram. Here's the girl telling the story. Here's her girlfriend, Ashley. Here's Melissa, who she's divorcing. Here's who Ashley is divorcing. It is Caroline, okay? Caroline has a sister named Kathy. All of these players are going to be important. I love that she did this. Like, thank you for the visual. Anyways.
It's going to be interactive. Here you see me, and here is Ashley. We are girlfriends. Ashley is divorcing Caroline. Caroline has a sister named Kathy. I am divorcing Melissa. In July of 2023, Caroline and Kathy contact Melissa. They contact each other to swap information about the two of us to basically leverage their divorces and know more information.
Caroline. Yes. Immediately, that's where my brain went to. I said, Caroline, she's the reason for the word. Okay, we're not going to say it. But yes, I actually immediately thought about that. Like, that's how we know we're millennials. Anyways, let's keep going.
Now, I just want you guys to know, at this point, me in July 2023, me and Ashley do not know that Caroline, Kathy, and Melissa are communicating. We have no idea. We found this out later, and I'm going to tell you how we found it out, but that's probably going to be in, like, part 6. But at this point, it's August 2023. My lawyer sends documentation to Melissa, letting her know that she had 30 days to leave the house. Because within this time frame between basically July and August, it was just like absolutely horrendous. The household was just unbearable, and it just was no longer a good environment for my child. At this point, she's getting ready to move out. I offered to her a bedroom set. I offered a bedroom set for our son. I offered, a lot of stuff because I'm like, cool, you're clearly like starting over a little bit and I have everything. So if you need some stuff, like I don't mind, donating it. So she declines. Oh, I'm getting all new stuff. I don't need your stuff. Okay. Next thing you know, she starts selling everything out the house. Anything that she bought or any gift she's ever given me, she sold. I had a couch in the garage because at least you're leaving. At least we can get, hopefully, this paperwork situated. Now that there's some space, we can just go ahead and be done with this. Right?
It was not done. It was not done. Girl. Hold on.
Welcome.
All right, here's part 6.
Part 6 of Who the Did I Marry? I left off with Melissa moving out. At this point, I think things are going to like improve because she always talked so highly about being like these great, amazing co-parents. I mean, in my head, I'm like, maybe
she wrote, I'm sad, but life goes on. I promise to be the best friend and co-parent on earth. Hell no, no different. He'll know no different. Gets to see his parents be besties. I know you can't start your life over, but I'll make sure the rest of it is as peaceful as possible on my end. You might feel like you've settled, and that can be your feeling. I will always hold up my end of the bargain and at least be a great friend and a great co-parent to you.
She's a shitty person, but I do think she's a good parent. That's what I thought, and that does change. The first thing that happens is we're in litigation and we're asking for all this documentation from her and her lawyer, and they are dragging. Like, I'm talking 3, 6, 8 weeks, just simple stuff. And they're just not answering. And she's also not helpful if I go to her and say, hey, can you contact your lawyer? Let's get this done. Let's get this signed. Let's be divorced. You know, let's have everything squared away. Like, I'm not trying to drag this out. This costs money. And me and you both know that she likes to waste my money. So, honestly, looking back, is it that shocking? Not really. Anywho, around the October-November time frame, I started getting these, like, messages from her saying, you know, I'm just having a really tough time and like maybe you and your partner can just keep him. Or, hey, would you guys be willing to move to California if I got a job? Like, she was playing this like, oh, I'm really cool with the fact that you and Ashley are dating and I want us to all be this like big happy family. And honestly, it was just like more alarming than anything because it's like, if you can't take care of him, like I will absolutely, by all means, take care of him. Early December, she started sending messages because at this point my lawyer has finally let her know, like, hey, there's a lot of money that Brittany is owed. And I think Melissa thought that she was going to be able to get something from me, but like that wasn't the case. So she came to me and she's like, if you do this to me, like if you go after this, then I'm not going to have anything and I'm going to really be struggling. So if you could just like get off of it, because if not, like I'm going to have to let you keep our son for this duration of time and like I'll come back for him. Now, that is not the way it works with kids. You don't just get to go away and then come back when it's convenient for you. Being a parent is doing that shit through the good times and the bad, not just when it's convenient. But me being stupid, I'm like, cool, whatever gets this done. If getting them little points from you is going to cause you all this, whatever, like I don't really care, if we're being honest. Sign the papers, leave me alone.
Girl, this is what she got you this way.
Interactive board. At this point now, in mid-December, I find out that Melissa is dating a girl named Taurus, okay? I find out about Taurus through social media, and it was two particular things that stood out. One of the things is they were in the tattoo shop, and Melissa was getting Taurus's name, and Taurus was getting Melissa's name. Sounds familiar. Then there was a particular video where Taurus was calling Melissa her credit card. Now, mind you, me and Melissa just had this conversation about how she was like struggling so much.
Credit card.
All this help and for me to back off and all this stuff, right? So it's like, okay, I see now that was, you just trying to play me per usual. So I send Melissa a message and I'm like, listen, bro, like you clearly ain't got no money issues. You clearly got everything going right. So sign the papers. You got a girlfriend and sign the papers. Like, why are you still trying to do this back and forth with me? Like, cause it's just not necessary. So January comes and I start noticing that my son was having like some transition issues. And then also that he was using mommy out of context. And like I said, I'm pretty good about noticing something and saying something. So I went to Melissa and I was like, hey, like, I know you have a girlfriend. I know my son is probably around her. So a couple of things. First off, can I meet her? Because I think as a mom, everybody wants to meet the person that's around their child just so everybody's on the same page. I also ask, hey, like, what is our son calling her? And they proceeded to tell me that they call her a nickname. And I do want to say, prior to any of this, I continuously would ask Melissa if Taurus was living over there. She's like, nah, she not living here. If I have any house changes, I'll let you know. And I'm like, okay. Now, mind you, we knew something was up, me and my girlfriend, because my son, normally, like, his nails won't be cut, his ears won't be clean, his hair would just be like, whatever. He comes to the house one day, bro. Hair braided to the back, ears squeaky clean, nails cut. I'm like, oops, somebody cooked in here. So I'm not mad at it. But once again, I go to them and say, hey, like, I think that it's beneficial for me to meet your partner. Now, mind you, she's met Ashley.
She said in we're going to read the text threads. LMFAO, and what you choose to do after me will not be my business. Ish is our business. If anybody...
Multiple times. And not to mention, also tried to fight.
Hold on, girl. She got receipts.
Hair braided to the back. Ears squeaky clean, nails cut. I'm like, oops, somebody cooked in here. So I'm not mad at it. But once again, I go to them and say, hey, like, I think that it's beneficial for me to meet your partner. Now, mind you.
Okay. Here's the first one. I'm trying to, like... Okay. It says, Ish, it is our business. If anybody is going to be around my son, they got to be fully vetted. Fully vetted. Got to have, like, a year dating off, something before we get them to close to our children, period. She responds, well, yeah, it wouldn't be anything immediate. Like, oh, yeah, we weren't together. You can meet my son. Hell no.
She's Ashley.
So then, here's the next part. I won't bring, crossed her baby's name out, around anyone you don't meet. Let me know when you feel it's a good time for me to meet her with no animosity. I wasn't arguing the rule. I just wanted a time frame, 60 days or 90 days. She said, don't care to meet her. I trust you. I'm not fighting you on anything anymore. Only thing I care about is the joint situation. Time frame doesn't matter. I want the same respect, so let's set a rule. So that was the rule, that, like, if they dated anyone new, they were to, like, each parent would vet who was around their son, basically just get to meet them.
Multiple times, and not to mention also...
So then here's the last one. Now her name isn't ill, her name is Bum. Gotta stop. Ain't nobody fighting you over a woman that's already mine. Anything that needs to be addressed between us can be handled with a conversation. We're adults with careers and 401ks. So hopefully we can leave all the tough guy shit at the door next time. Respect my lady, the mother of your child, and I'll respect you. End of discussion. I know you feel she disrespects you at times. That's gotta stop too. And you can address that with me if you can't get through her respectfully. So I think this is her sending it to her.
I'll try to fight her one time, but we won't get into that. Or maybe I will, but we'll see. Girl. Now, on the back end, I also noticed on, like, pickups and drop-offs or parent-teacher conferences that Melissa was starting to look very...
I did. I already watched it. It's so good.
Non-girl. Was starting to just, like, the voice was deep. Like, I noticed, like, some little chicken scratch on their face. And I was like, oh, okay, like, something going on. So I asked, hey, I don't want to be offensive, but, like, are you transitioning? And they proceeded, they would...
So this is her thing. That's cute. Do you think you'll change your nouns? This is Brittany sending her a message. That's cute. Do you think you'll change your nouns? I only ask so I can make sure I speak respectfully to him about you. So that's to their son. For example, when I drop our son off, I say, blank coming to get you later. Do you still want to be associated, or do you plan on transitioning into something different name-wise for him? She said, I will not. Not sure why he's doing it, but I'm not going to worry right now. I'm just informing you. So here's where she officially, I guess, told her.
Always tell me no. I'd ask this question probably every other week because I knew. I'm not stupid. Like, I see it. Like, it's dead ass in my face. Like, why would you just lie blatantly like that? Not to mention would constantly be like, oh, our son accidentally called me daddy today. LOL, LOL, LOL. And I'm like, okay, well, correct it. And I would ask them again, like, are you changing your pronouns? Like, are you letting him call you that? Are you correcting him? So on and so forth, because it seems really odd because we don't have that problem over here. So early or like mid-February, Melissa comes to me and says, my pronouns are now he and him, so respect that, so on and so forth. So I'm like, okay, good for you. Are you going to change your name or what my son calls you? Because we had a specific name that he called her. Nope, everything's the same. I'll let you know if there's any changes. Don't worry about it. It's just he, him at this point. Okay. So I go pick up my son after spring break. So you're talking like 12 days later, maybe. And I pick him up and he says, bye, Daddy. Like, because at this point, Melissa is still outside putting him in a car. So my son was like, bye, Daddy. And I was like, no. Like, I corrected him with the name that he had normally been called. Listen, I am in no way, shape, or form a judgmental individual, but I feel like if that's something that you're going to do, you discuss it with the person that you're co-parenting with. It is a really odd situation to say that within...
Oh, I missed the part where she was saying something.
You've gone from a term that my son has known forever to daddy, like specifically daddy. It just felt odd to me, but maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. At this point,
Do y'all think she's tripping? I want to know. Like, I want to know what y'all think. Do you guys think that she is tripping in this whole situation? Like, after everything she's been put through, do you think she is tripping for them not conversating about this stuff ahead of time? And what, like, she asked them, should they already be working on him calling him something different? And he said no, like nothing was going to change. Melissa has been so inconsistent from the get-go. Like, I'm going to do this, but never mind, I'm going to do this. Like, I did this instead. She asked her, and she's been very, like, I feel like she has been very, I don't know, a little bit too much of a pushover, in my opinion. Like, she's getting pushed over so much. And I'm sure by now she realizes it. Like, girl, I was pushed left and right. Like, I had zero control sometimes over the situation. But I also feel like Brittany is always, like, bending over backwards for her. Like, anything. Like, oh, you can't take care of our son? Okay, like, I'll figure it out. Like, oh, yeah, like, money, I'll cover this. Like, it seems like she's always bending over backwards for them. No, she isn't. She simply wants to be on the same page with her child's other parent. I agree. 100%. Let's keep listening.
Still won't sign the papers. They're now he, him, still no name change. So they're Melissa to me. And around the just bunches of issues, at this point, I know Taurus lives there, so on and so forth. Won't let me meet her. Same old, same old. Around the May time frame, they finally tell me that their name is going to be Melvin. And then they also proceed to show me photos of their top surgery. So they were already getting their gender affirming surgeries, which, interesting enough, the gender affirming surgery happened between the 12 days and my son calling them daddy. So very fast transition, if you will. So I want to bring my board back out so we...
Let's pause right there. Remember, she never had a problem with this. So, like, I want to make sure I add, if you're just walking into the live, good morning. Brittany never had an issue with this person wanting to transition. She, very early on in the relationship, asked them, did they ever have a thought of transitioning? Because, like, she wanted to know. That's not something that, like, you know, she wasn't in a relationship with somebody that was going to transition. She was in a relationship with another woman, right? Like, with a woman. Melvin, so now we're changing the name. Melvin basically said, no, I would never do that when she was with her.
Understand. At this point, Melissa is now Melvin, he, him pronouns, and their girlfriend is Taurus. It's around the July 2024 timeframe, and they still won't sign the papers. They still keep dragging things out. And I keep asking God, like, bro, like, why won't you just let this hoe sign the papers? Well, I'll tell you why. Because Taurus, Melvin's girlfriend, ends up calling me. Welcome.
Oh, God. Okay. Hold on a second.
I know you guys are wanting part 7, and it's Saturday, and I'm super busy, and I promise you I will do my best. But I did want to give a little bit of information, so that way when part 7 comes out, you guys kind of have an understanding of, like,
Taurus called her.
Where we are with this whole thing. So Ashley is my girlfriend, and at the time, Ashley was divorcing Caroline. And Ashley and Caroline do have a kid, so it was not just divorce, it was also custody. Now, I just want to say that Ashley was willing to give Caroline everything. She wasn't trying to do the back and forth. She was ready to sign the papers. She was just doing everything she could to just remain a good parent and to just be done with the drama, because Ashley's just not really the type of person to, like, feed into stuff like this. Even with all of that, Caroline was stalking us. I ended up finding out a lot of information when they were going through their divorce, because you have to turn in documentation to each other, where Caroline and Kathy had been stalking me from day one. Now, mind you, at this point, we still don't know that Caroline and Kathy were talking to Melissa/Melvin. Okay, I need my board right now. I'm so sorry. But it was crazy. I'm talking following us to the house. I'm talking showing up to my house unannounced. She was taking pictures of my outfits, putting them in Google, finding the cost, and then going to Ashley and say, give me the money. She was calling me every name in the book, doing whatever she could to make it difficult. Just constant egging on for still. And I want to be clear, and I want to say this quote, and I want you guys to understand it for what it is. It is impossible to co-parent with someone that hates you more than they love their kids. And that is the description of the type of stuff that we're dealing with.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
People are bitter, and what they're willing to do to achieve being evil is insane to me. But anywho, stay tuned, because it gets really good, and I am hoping to have part 7 uploaded today. And
she has part 7, don't worry.
Welcome.
This will most likely be the last part for today, and we will resume this on Tuesday. Remember, I will be uploading all of this whole video over to the tube. If you don't know how to get to my tube, it's on the little blinky blink.
It's part 7 of Who Did I Marry? Tired edition. Okay, we left off with Taurus calling me. I want to bring up the board for a second. For clarification, Melissa is now Melvin. Melvin dates Taurus, and now Taurus is calling me. Okay? So at this point, I said call, but she DM'd me on TikTok. Okay, so she DMs me and she goes, I just want to apologize because I was around your son and I should have done more to try and meet you. And, you know, every time I tried to meet you, like I even tried to Zoom call you, they would tell me that you were gonna find me and beat me up and throw acid in my face and try and kill me and all this stuff. Like, was basically scaring Taurus. Melvin was scaring Taurus so that Taurus would never come to me. Because Melvin knows that I am Melvin's worst fear. I am the truth. I am willing to expose Melvin. So Melvin painted this picture for Taurus so that Taurus would stay away from me. But Taurus didn't, and she came to me after her and Melvin broke up, because when you start piecing all this shit together, you realize that Melvin is a fucking liar.
Melvin is
We continue to DM, and she tells me how, Taurus tells me how she seen my Twitter. So prior to these TikToks, I would subliminally tweet about my situation to just kind of give like a pre-warning to people, like, hey, be careful. And I had tweeted something about being the third wife. I tweeted something about this person scamming me. And Taurus told me that she actually saw those tweets and started doing her own research. And Melvin had never told Taurus that he had been married. Taurus knew that me and Melvin had been married, but had no idea about the other 2 wives that he was married to. At this point, we're talking back and forth, and she basically was like, oh, you know, I did want to really give you a warning. And the warning is that Melvin, Caroline, and Kathy have been stalking you for over a year. She, with receipts, by the way. Taurus is not just telling me this stuff and not giving receipts. When I tell you she was getting down with the receipts, she was getting down with the receipts. Kathy, Caroline, and Melvin were swapping pictures of our children. They were talking about our whereabouts, where we are, what our schedules are. Oh, how can we make this difficult? If we change this schedule, then Ashley and Brittany won't be able to do this at the same time. Like, they were...
You got way too much fucking time, if that's what you're doing as a parent, because God knows, as parents, we barely have time. That's just unhinged. When three unhinged individuals get together,
doing this for over a year. And it made me realize that this duration of my super long divorce was not just purely based out of like this one person being stupid. This is a group of people. I realized in this conversation with Taurus that I don't know Melvin. And imagine being in a relationship with somebody and not knowing them, but imagine having a kid with somebody and not knowing who they are. Throughout this whole entire situation, that is the time frame that I was like, this is not a fucking game anymore. And these people are dangerous. They're dangerous people. I could go days for what Taurus told me, but I'm gonna stick to the script, right? After talking for a few days in TikTok, I think we were just building that trust. We exchanged numbers. And this is where the part of the story gets like really hard for me. Earlier in the story, I told you all that my son, there were time frames where I noticed that he was having transitional issues, and I would oftentimes go to Melvin and say, hey, son's not sleeping good. Like, what's the routine over there? Are you having these issues? Because like I am sort of a hoverer as a mom, but I'm very specific about making sure that he's okay. And I asked, hey, does he have a bed? Yes, he has a bed. Does he have a room? Yes, he has a room. Does he have this? Yes, he has this. He has that. He has this. Making it seem like it's perfect over there. So I'm like, cool. I only need to just address what I have going on here. Taurus also lets me know that on the very first day that she ever met my son, Melvin made my son call her mommy. So from day one, my son never knew her name. She was mommy. Something told me to ask Taurus a question. And I said, hey, you were around my son. I want you to tell me a little bit about what that was. And, does my son have a room? Does my son have a bed? What's the situation over there? And she said, I was hoping you didn't ask me that. As a parent,
it's a little beauty mark.
I would sleep on the cold, hard floor if that meant that my child got somewhere to sleep. I would eat nothing if it meant that my child got to eat. The stuff that Taurus told me and the pictures that she showed me broke me. It broke me. Because I had trusted Melvin to be at least a good parent. I don't give a shit about how you treat me. But how you treat my child, there is I will never, ever forgive Melvin for that. Ever. She also told me about how...
Good morning.
On my son's birthday that Melvin couldn't even be bothered to get my child a gift. Couldn't even be bothered to get my child a cake. And when Taurus second guessed him on it, he iced her out all day, ignored her, forgetting, because she went and got him a gift. She went and got him a cake. She made sure his nails was clipped. She made sure that his hair was done. Taurus was taking care of my kid. And she knows that I am forever thankful because at least I knew then that he was being taken care of.
Taurus
also lets me know that Melvin doesn't just have one job now. He has two, because he has to afford his lawyer and he has to afford his gender affirming surgeries. So the time frames that Melvin did have my son, he was gone. He was working his job to pay for, to be a man. So after this, I called my lawyer. And funny enough, my lawyer goes, oh, hey, I was just about to call you because Melvin is ready to sign. Whole year. And all of a sudden, Melvin's ready to sign, right? Because Melvin knew, right? Melvin knew that Taurus had called me at this point, right?
Melvin realized it.
So I tell my lawyer, no, I'm not signing. I'm taking them to court. She was like, what's going on? I sent her everything. I told her everything. She looked at the documents and the pictures I sent her, and she said, okay, we're going to court. I said, yes, we are. She said, if you could get Taurus to testify, your case will be very strong. And I said, okay. So I called Taurus and I said, listen, you've already given me more information and done more for me than I could ever ask. Will you be willing to testify with me in court? Taurus said, yeah.
Taurus is a girl's girl. Oh, this is almost over. Taurus is a real girl's girl. Who thinks so? Because this girl's like, you know what? I'm going to find you. I'm going to send you a message. I'm going to give you all the proof you need. Taurus, on the other side, is taking care of this baby. Like, that's not her baby, right? Taking care of this baby, making sure this little boy has everything for his birthday, his hair done, his nails done, because Melissa/Melvin don't know how to be a parent and basically is dragging this baby boy around just to spite this woman. Like, they really are.
I let my lawyer know she's willing. My lawyer said, all right, I'm going to send this message to Melvin's lawyer. Melvin's lawyer immediately calls my lawyer and says, what's going on? Like, why are y'all going to court? Because, in his head, he's like, I'm just a lawyer and I'm just trying to get this paperwork signed. So
I just want to get paid.
To me, it sounds like he knows it was being dragged out. So the simple fact that now I'm ready to go to court, the lawyer is confused. So Melvin's lawyer is confused. Shocker. And my lawyer tells him, this is what happened. And I'll put it this way, Melvin came to court with no lawyer.
He dropped them. I knew it.
So at this point, Melvin is now aware that I am taking him to court and that I'm not signing. Melvin is now aware that his ex-girlfriend Taurus is now testifying on my behalf. So at this point, rats are starting to scramble. Welcome to part 7 of Who Did I Marry?
And that's
Tired edition.
And that's where we stop the series for today. Girl, how are you? I want to know in the comments, what do you think? These, 3? We took you through 3 pieces of this. 3 parts. What do you think? Girl, I know Risa Tiso is crazy, but this is equally crazy. Who the hell did I marry? Who the hell did I get with? What the hell? Is literally. So we went from Melissa to now they got a new name. This is now Melvin. Mind you, when she got together with them, they said they were not interested in ever transitioning. That was not them. Like, all of a sudden, yeah, they decided, no, I don't want to be this person anymore. And she didn't even tell her that, their son was calling another woman mom. They told her to call her mom. Mind you, this poor baby didn't even have a bed. At this point, I can assume this little baby boy was sleeping on the ground. I'm going to make 100% that assumption based on the way her face looked. She looked so sad, like she looked like she was going to cry when she was saying that part. I'm proud of Taurus for stepping up because Ashley needed that support. So Brittany needed that support. Ashley is the girlfriend. So Ashley is the new girlfriend of Brittany. Taurus was Melissa's girlfriend / Melvin. Melissa / Melvin's girlfriend. She was the one who was scared that because she was told that Brittany was going to throw acid on her face, that was going to do like stuff to her, beat her up. This is not a podcast, Brenda. It is a TikTok story. It is someone's story. Melissa / Melvin is a pathological liar, 100%, that was taking full advantage of this woman from the get-go. Like, from the get-go, loved bombed her, got her to, like, basically move in with them, get a townhouse, relocate to another location, basically abandon their family, like, have no ties to their family, have a baby with them, and here's the baby boy, like, walking around, and basically now the baby boy, after this woman gets another girlfriend, is calling the new girlfriend mommy. Mind you, like, Taurus, like, that's a saint. Like, Taurus is a saint for taking care of that baby. I bet you she stuck around, with Melissa, because they had to have known, like, something's wrong with this human. They probably stuck around for baby boy. Having a kid with somebody like that 100% is scary. I agree. I 100% agree. And imagine this little boy, hence why there were so many transition issues, because he's going over to Melvin / Melissa / mommy / daddy, because like they're so confused on all the different pronouns at this point. Mind you, there's nothing wrong with like that. I'm not saying anything bad about that. But like the whole entire time, Brittany's like, just tell me, like, how are we going to navigate this so that we can make sure, like, our son understands? She's like, no, but, like, I'm not doing any of that. Like, I'm not doing any of that. Mind you, she ends up transitioning. Melissa / Melvin / daddy is now their name. And this poor little boy is also calling Taurus Melissa / Melvin / daddy's girlfriend mommy. Like, this poor little boy is so confused. I'm confused. You're confused. We're all freaking confused at this point. She knew something wasn't right with her son. It's so sad. Brittany expected Melvin to be decent. I think so too, because in those messages that he had sent her, he had said, like, you know, we will be the best co-parents for our son. No, girl, that did not happen. And there are so many more pieces to this story that we are going to talk about, because we obviously now know that Ashley, who is the girlfriend of Brittany, who is telling the story, has a sister, and the woman that she's divorcing, Caroline and Kathy, who have this whole entire time been stalking Brittany for a whole year. So I'm sure I need to know more about that side. What the hell were they doing, girl? What the hell were they doing? Anyways, I want to make sure you stick around, hit the follow button here, because this story is just unfolding. It's unhinged. There are multiple more parts for us to listen to. And what I want you to do is hit the follow button here, go to my profile. There's also access to my other social media handles so that you can go and rewatch this whole video from the beginning. I do a little recap in the beginning of the video to kind of tell you about the story. The next time we will be covering Brittany's story will be Tuesday. I like doing tea times with you guys, and then the rest of the week we talk all the other things that exist in the world. But thank you so much, bestie, for coming along on this Tengo Chisme day. I hope you really enjoyed the chisme. Ooh, girl, and if you wonder, why are we listening to drama? Because, girl, this is how we learn. We learn and we reflect based on other people's stories. When there are flags that are pink and then suddenly turn red, and then there's multiple red flags, you might know somebody that is in the situation. You might know somebody who is struggling with their own thing. Or you might be somebody who had a similar situation. And this just teaches us, like, what should we be looking out for? Because there are individuals who are pathological liars. There are narcissists. There are so many different people in the world. And the more that we know, the better as humans we become. So I gotta go. Have your water. Have your food.